Hi everyone, welcome back to the summit. I'm really excited. I know I say this about every single session that I'm putting on during this summit, but I can tell you that Cara, who I have today, is an amazing guest. She's going to cover so many different aspects. I wanted this summit to be from every different aspect when it comes to influencer marketing, and I can actually tell you that Cara pretty much covers everything all on her own. So this is very exciting for me. I'll just introduce you. I have to read it because it's actually quite a very broad, wide range of information. So I don't want to get anything wrong. So Cara Newhart is the influencer behind Never Skip Brunch. That's her own website. And she's also the founder of Haute Society Influencer Community. And that is a community that has resources for influencers. So she actually helps a lot of influencers to become better influencers, which is fantastic. And she also has worked with companies such as H&M, Kendra Scott, Express, L'Occitane, Charming Charlie, Twitter, and Thrillist. And she's also being published in Style Watch as well. But on top of all of that, which just takes it to a whole nother level, is that in Never Skip Brunch, she actually has her own boutique. So she actually sells her own items in there, but she also works with other influencers. So like I said, Cara actually covers all aspects when it comes to influencer marketing. So today we're actually going to talk to her about all different aspects. We're going to talk to her about actually working with influencers herself, being an influencer herself, and teaching other influencers. So we have so much to cover in this session. So hold on tight. There's going to be a lot of information covered. Let's get into meeting Cara and say hello. Hi, Cara. How are you today?
I'm so good. So glad to be here and share. It's so exciting.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you are a very busy person, so the fact that you have given us some of your time is wonderful. And I have to say thank you straight away because that's amazing. So thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me so much.
Wonderful. So let's get into a little bit about what is Never Skip Brunch. What is your niche that you specialize in when it comes to your website?
Yeah, so I am in the fashion and lifestyle space. I started in fashion because I actually had a boutique that I launched in 2014, an e-boutique, and I had a blog that went along with that. And then brands started reaching out to me to feature their products on my blog. At the time, I had no idea what influencer marketing was, so I was so confused. Like, no, this is my shop. Like, why would I talk about your product? And then at some point, it clicked for me, like, oh, they think I'm a blogger because I have like this blog that's very curated and it felt like a style blog. So that's how I initially got started. And I do have so many passions. If you can't tell from reading kind of my bio, I love doing it all, like from the artsy stuff to the nerdy stuff. So I've since expanded into kind of the lifestyle space, and just this year added some home and DIY stuff, which I didn't know if I wanted to do, but my followers really wanted it and had been asking for it over and over. So that's kind of what I'm focused on with Never Skip Brunch. And then along with my Haute Society community, I get to work with influencers who are in every niche and vertical that you can think of. So from food to parenting to fitness to even some very like specific like tech and gaming type stuff. So I'm personally in the fashion and lifestyle, but I get to see it all, and that's been so much fun.
Fantastic. I think that when I decided to put this summit on, it's a space that's still very new. And that's really interesting that you said that you didn't understand what was going on back then. And I think that a lot of brand owners, a lot of merchants feel like that now, that they don't understand a lot of what's going on. So that's what this whole summit was all about, was to help people understand those different aspects. And I love the fact that you have built your community so organically. And I've been really lucky because all the influencers I've got on this summit are in your situation as well, because there are some people out there that come across quite fake and have sort of bought followers or do it in a very fake way. But from what you're telling us, you have done it in a very natural way, almost by accident more than anything else.
No, that's so true. Even in just talking to bloggers, like anytime you ask someone how they got started, 9 times out of 10, it is an accident. It's like, oh, I just posted pictures on Instagram and people liked them. And, then I realized like, oh, I could do this for a job. So I think with a lot of entrepreneurs, that's kind of their story of like, you don't really know what you're doing. And then at some point it like clicks and it like starts to make sense and you get to turn your passion into, your career. So.
Fantastic. And you can tell that you're very passionate about it. So that's fantastic. It's great to see you be so enthusiastic about what you do.
I think you almost have to be, because it's like so much work that if, you wouldn't do it unless you loved it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. My hat off to you, because I was just talking to another influencer about that, was that a lot of people don't see what you do as being a real job. When people try to reach out and try to get you to work for free, and they wouldn't work for free, but they would expect you to work for free because they sort of think, oh, it's just fun, you're just posting, but there's a lot more to it, and we will get into a lot more of that.
Right.
But yeah, like you say, there's a lot of work that goes into it, so you have to love what you're doing. So it's sort of like that chicken and the egg. Yes, I love it, but if I didn't love it, I couldn't do what I'm doing.
Right. I always say it's a lot of effort to make it look effortless, because it so is. Like, you do want it to look very natural and like you're just living your life and sharing things you love. If you were on the struggle bus and like showing all the hard parts all the time, you wouldn't be as fun to follow, because it wouldn't feel as authentic. So yeah, it is a lot of effort to make it look so easy.
Fantastic. And so which channels do you actually work with when you are promoting everything online?
Yeah, so really everything, but obviously the biggest right now is Instagram. I think it's just kind of like the most popular. It is the most saturated, but it's still such a fun place to be. I know it can get frustrating for bloggers and brands alike to see growth on there, but you really can kind of find your own community and carve out your own space. So Instagram is my biggest platform, but then I also have been really into Pinterest lately. Within the past couple months, I've tried to like ramp that up. I always have loved Pinterest as a user, because I can like hoard all of my ideas in a place that's very like organized, and it doesn't show up in my house kind of thing, because it's all online. But yeah, I like Pinterest because it's kind of a longer game. It's like it takes longer to get traction, but like my content on there is still bringing new followers in, new readers, years later, where on Instagram, because the algorithm posts are kind of dead after, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, a minute really. But so yeah, it really depends on what the brand wants that I'm working with. But when it comes to my audience, I would say Instagram's really big, and then Pinterest is becoming increasingly bigger for me.
And do you find with your audience that the Instagram and the Pinterest audience are different, or the same people?
Oh, definitely different. I think really with social media like Instagram and Facebook and even Twitter to an extent, we are sharing something that already happened, right? We're sharing a moment, or we're sharing something we did. Whereas Pinterest, we're going there to like plan and dream. So it's about stuff we haven't done yet. So I think the mindset, even if you use both as a user, you're going into it with a different mindset. So as an influencer, that's something to navigate too, is like, I can't really take the same post on Instagram and just copy and paste it over to Facebook and Pinterest. Like, not even that the graphics are different sizes, like the content needs to be totally structured differently. So yeah.
So that's fantastic. So when you're working with a brand, with a merchant, and how do you go about deciding where you're going to place them? Is it always, do you offer it, you're always going to get these 3 placements, or do you offer it depending on the actual brand that you're working with?
Yeah, it totally depends on the brand, from the size of brand to the type of product, like where is it going to resonate better, to their budget. For a lot of brands, maybe just one Instagram post is all they can afford. Other brands want the blog post, multiple posts on social, and all of my social, and the custom Pinterest images that are very branded and very specific. So it totally depends on the brand, and that's something that's really hard as a brand. A lot of people don't have that near close to figured out when they get into influencer marketing. They're just like, oh, I'll work with a blogger and she'll, post about me. But it's learning that process of like what platform resonates best with us. And some brands have it totally figured out. Like, they know where their audience is, they know where they need to be. And like Twitter hadn't been my strongest platform at all, but I did a campaign with niche.co, which was purchased by Twitter, and they obviously know Twitter because that's their thing. And so